Well, hello. Welcome to day 13 of Zentangle Inktober. Today I'm going to be drawing Philoxy by Theresa Fessler, CZT, right here in this sort of seed shape in my grid. I feel like this is one of those sort of focal point patterns, and each of these seed shape areas are probably going to get a focal point. So I'm drawing a sort of delicate curve shape, and I'm going to draw a series of them that all end at the same point. And as I was sort of practicing with this pattern, I realized every time I drew it, I drew a different number of curves. So I just sort of let myself fill in as many curves as I would like. I don't really think through it. It looks like here that I'm going to wind up with 5 curves in this pattern. So from the very top point of this first curve, I'm going to draw sort of an aurad curve, and then I'm going to draw a series of these starting, I don't know, maybe about a fourth of the way down on each one of them. And I'm not really thinking too much about how thick each curve is. I'm just sort of drawing it, let my hand do all the work here. And then in that last one, I'm just going to let it sort of nestle in to the curve right behind it. And I'm going to do this for each one of the subsequent curves. Now that already looks pretty neat, but this is my favorite step of this pattern. From the tip of the curve, I'm going to draw sort of a connector down, and I'm going to draw a series of them. And with the last one, if there's a little bit of space there, I'm going to go ahead and ink it in as if there were a shadow. So to the next one at the very tip of that curve, I'm going to draw a curve down toward the right, and then I'm going to draw another curve down to the right, and another. And I might ink that in again, and I'll do the same pattern for the other curves as well. So that's our drawing done. Time for some shading. So of course, right at this center point where all of my curves gather, I'm going to add in a fair amount of graphite. I'll add a line of graphite on the inside of this little curved area here, and do the same for the other curves. And I'm going to put just a little bit of graphite on the back of each one of these aura lines. Finally, I'm going to put a little bit of graphite right at the top of these curves, as if they're 3D and they're sort of curving under. Then, as usual, I'll add graphite all around the perimeter of the tangle. Now let's blend it out with our tortillion and then see if we want to add any more graphite. I do kind of want a dramatic shading here. All right, I want to add a little bit more graphite right here where it looks like those curves are sort of going into the auras behind it, just to make that shadow a little bit more dramatic. Now I'm really working that graphite in with my tortillon because I want it to look like there's a shine going over top these auras, but I don't want it to be that you can see a clear line of, here's where the graphite ends and the shine begins. So I'm really trying to blend that in without blending it so much that the shine just becomes a whole bunch of gray. So you've got to really use your best judgment here. Now I'm thinking I want to add more graphite right on the sort of the tip ends of these auras. So right along the inside edge here, really making the curved ends of these aura lines a little bit more dramatic, like they're really curving under into some shadow. Yeah, I'm liking how that turned out. It's definitely a dramatic shading of this Philoxy pattern. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you had a wonderful time drawing, and I hope to see you again tomorrow. Have a great rest of your day. Bye-bye.